Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're focusing on a really interesting set of Vedic astrological interpretations.
That's right, generated for someone we're calling Soul Traveler, dated May 5th, 2025.
And it's quite a collection. We've got the natal chart, Navamsa, Chandralanya,
And then the deeper divisional charts, Dasamsa, Saptamsa, right down to Shashtiamsha, plus Ashkavarga and Gochar transit analysis.
all interpreted by Zoran the Dragon. Quite a name.
Indeed, it gives the interpretations a unique flavor. But even without seeing the raw chart data, the patterns are quite strong.
So our mission today.
It's really to synthesize all of this, to pull out the core personality insights, the main life patterns, and the guidance offered specifically for you, the listener, the learner, based on these readings.
Right, a tailored synthesis just for you. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's jump in. Looking across all these different charts for Soul Traveler, what core personality traits just kept, showing up again and again?
Well, what really stands out is this deep, deep desire for understanding, a real hunger for connection, too, and definitely a pull towards spiritual growth.
Okay.
And there's this fascinating mix, a blend of being quite practical, very grounded, but also having this strong idealistic streak.
Practical and idealistic. Interesting.
Yeah, and a sharp intellect is mentioned constantly, but it's always paired with like a really deep empathy. Creative potential is another big one, and a definite resilience.
And Zoran uses these vivid archetypes, right?
Right.
It's not just abstract trait.
Exactly, which makes it much more tangible. So the natal chart mentions the seeker, that drive to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Navamsa brings in the phoenix, suggesting, transformation, rebirth through challenges.
I get Phoenix. I like that.
The Chandralanya highlights a nurturing side, the mother-father. Then the Bhavachalit, it combines sage, warrior, and healer.
Wow, that's a powerful combo.
It is, and it keeps going. Dasamsa suggests alchemist and architect. Saptamsa mentions the gardener, nurturing potential. Later we see scholar warrior, radiant healer.
It's like different facets of the same person being illuminated by each chart.
Precisely. Each archetype sheds light on a core part of who you, soul traveler, might be.
But some of these seem almost contradictory, like warrior and healer,
Yeah.
or that practicality versus the idealism you mentioned. How does that work?
That's actually a really key point. The interpretations keep coming back to this need for balance, for integrating these seemingly opposite energies.
So it's not a conflict.
Not necessarily. It's more like a dynamic tension. Think about that practical side and the idealism. When they're balanced, you can dream big and make it happen if one takes over.
Right, you either get stuck planning or chase impossible dreams.
Exactly. And the warrior's decisiveness and the healer's compassion, they're not opposites. Real strength often involves knowing when to act and when to nurture. This integration journey seems absolutely central for you.
Okay, that makes sense. Moving on to the bigger picture. Life patterns, destiny insights. What was the main story Zoran seemed to be telling?
The dominant theme is definitely life as a journey of self-discovery, integrating all these different parts of yourself, and facing challenges to gain deeper self-understanding and inner peace.
So challenges are part of the path.
A crucial part. And there's this recurring idea that your past experiences are, well, they're not just gone. They actively shape your present and influence your future possibilities.
Like building blocks, almost. Not a clean slate every time.
Exactly like that. An unfolding tapestry is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And the guidance consistently talks about embracing your unique gifts, really pursuing knowledge, developing emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah, understanding yourself and others, and finding that balance we keep talking about, practicing self-care and looking for ways to make a positive contribution. These are all recurring themes for your path.
Were there specific life lessons that Zoran really emphasized across the board?
Oh, definitely. Learn to trust your intuition was a big one. Embracing your emotional depth, like really owning it, not running from it. And again, mastering balance, intellect emotions, independence connection.
Seems like balance is the key word here.
It really is. Also, finding harmony between your background, your heritage, and your own individual way of being. Balancing solo pursuits with collaboration, appreciating both comfort and simplicity, and managing ambition so it stays connected to empathy. Overcoming self-doubt, that pops up too.
Yeah.
And embracing both your strength and your compassion. Those lessons seem key.
Let's talk planets. Now, we know these are general interpretations without the exact degrees and houses, but what consistent roles did Zoran paint for the main players? How are they guiding Soul Traveler, guiding you?
Even generally, Zoran gives them distinct personalities. The sun, Surya Deva, is always the life force, self-expression, maybe leadership potential. The guidance is towards embodying your radiant self, expressing that radiance through service.
But with a check on the ego.
Yes, exactly. A reminder about humility. Then the moon, Chandra, governing emotions, the subconscious. Zoran calls it the emotional wellspring.
Emotional wellspring. Nice.
The advice is to trust intuition, cultivate compassion, but also be mindful that emotions ebb and flow, so finding inner peace is key.
Okay. And Mars?
Mars Mangala is the fiery warrior. Energy, drive, ambition, tackling challenges head on. The guidance is about channeling that fire effectively, productively.
But watch out for.
Impulsiveness.
Yeah.
Patience is needed to direct that Martian energy wisely.
Got it. Mercury?
Mercury Buddha is the messenger of the gods. Intellect, communication, adaptability. The guidance is towards clarity, clear thinking, clear connection, but also remembering to pause and reflect before speaking or acting.
Thoughtful communication.
Jupiter, Brihaspati, the benevolent guru, all about learning, expansion, wisdom, spiritual growth, guiding you towards abundance in like all areas of life.
Sounds good. And Saturn, the tough one.
Saturn, Shani, the wise teacher, often seen as tough, yes, because it brings discipline, structure, responsibility, maybe some karmic lessons, but the guidance frames it positively. Value patience, perseverance. See, limitations not as blocks, but as opportunities for real growth.
So each planet offers a different kind of lesson or support.
That's a great way to put it. And Zoran hints that with the full chart, you'd see exactly how your specific placements modify these general energies.
Okay, so let's try to synthesize the practical advice. If you boil down all the recommendations Zoran made across these readings, what are the key actions for Soul Traveler for you?
Right, the takeaways.
Yeah.
Okay, first, embrace curiosity. Actively work on developing emotional intelligence. That balance thing again, find it between head and heart, independence and connection, material and spiritual.
Prioritize self-care seems like a big one, too.
Huge. Recognize and use your unique gifts. Trust your gut, your intuition. Cultivate patience, especially with that Mars energy. Set healthy boundaries.
Boundaries, yes.
Yeah.
Important.
Definitely. Engage in self-reflection regularly. Find your tribe, supportive communities. Manage your time well. And really try to see challenges as learning opportunities, not just setbacks.
What about creativity and spirituality?
Yes, find outlets for creative expression, whatever that means for you. And make time for spiritual practices, things that nourish your inner life. It's a very holistic picture.
It really is. Inner and outer life working together.
And of course, the disclaimer, Zoran repeats.
Yeah.
For specific timing and the deepest insights, consult a qualified Vedic astrologer with your full birth chart. This is the overview, the foundation.
Makes sense. What about the inner world, specifically the emotional and mental patterns Zoran described?
The picture painted is one of, well, significant emotional depth and intensity, a lot of feeling and strong empathy. But alongside that, there's a potential flag for overthinking, maybe getting stuck in mental loops, and possibly some self-doubt.
So the advice there?
Cultivate self-awareness.
Yeah.
Like really understand your emotional landscape, your triggers. Learn healthy ways to manage those intense feelings. And consciously balance intellectual activity with emotional well-being. Don't let the head completely run the show or the heart either. Integration again.
Feel deeply, think clearly, manage the flow.
Got it. Were there any really specific details or cool descriptions from Zoran that just jumped out? Things that might especially resonate with the learner?
Oh, for sure. Zoran's descriptions of the planets were amazing, personifying them as dragon, they're celestial beings. Sun as radiant sovereign, moon as empathetic ocean, Mars as that fiery warrior. It just makes the energy feel so much more alive.
Yeah, it really does. Less abstract.
Totally. And those mystical phrases for each planet, like little mantras or key insights. The sun's light within you burns with a unique brilliance. Things like that could be real aha moments for you.
Little nuggets to hold on to.
Exactly. And the whole concept of the birth chart as a celestial tapestry, woven uniquely for you. That's a beautiful, powerful image. It suggests purpose, intricacy. It really frames it nicely.
And the recurring hints about past lives influencing current patterns, especially from charts like the Navamsa or Shashtyamsha, that adds a whole other layer of potential meaning for you to explore.
Right, that karmic element.
Yeah. And the archetypes we talked about, seeker, phoenix, healer, warrior, thinking about which ones resonate most strongly could be a useful tool for self-understanding.
Definitely.
And finally, this dual focus throughout. It's about your individual growth, yes, but also about how you can contribute positively to the world. That sense of purpose, feels really strong.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, we've definitely pulled together some really consistent threads from all these different astrological angles on Soul Traveler. It feels like a solid foundational picture.
I agree. It gives a rich overview of your potential traits, likely life patterns, and areas where focus and growth might be beneficial. But, as Zorn would probably say, this is just scratching the surface.
It's the starting point for your deeper self-discovery. And for you listening, if this overview, these themes, these archetypes, if they sparked something, if they resonate with your own sense of self, then exploring Vedic astrology further with a professional using your full birth chart seems like a really logical next step.
Highly recommended if it feels right.
So as we conclude this exploration into the celestial tapestry woven for Soul Traveler, here's a final thought to mull over. Zoran called mathematics the silent language of the cosmos. What if that same silent language, that hidden order, also applies to the complex, layered wisdom within your own Vedic charts? A vast potential just waiting for you to understand it more deeply, something to think about.